Okay, so for those of you that weren't able to join us, we were just doing a little introduction in the beginning, telling us a little bit about each other and why we decided to move to Table. So, as most of us mentioned, the primary reason is because Facebook is just not serving our businesses and our customers the way it used to. And I know all of us wish it would, because I love, that's why I joined, was because it was like, well, Stacy has all this in place and it's like push, push, push and action, and it's just not like that for the majority of people. So instead of quitting, we got to figure out a way that we can at least get some normalcy and some consistency back in our business. And just like many of you just said, when 4.0 came out, I was hesitant, but as soon as I really just decided, okay, jump in with 2 feet and put the blinders on for Facebook, it really changed my perspective. And what I personally feel like with 4.0 is it's actually kind of like Facebook without all the modalities that come with Facebook. So and when I say it like that, I'm just saying like there is opportunity for interaction. I am having a ton of engagement. And I think that's what people have a tendency to be like, well, that's where the stopping point comes, at least in my opinion. So anyway, I put a post in the Table group, and that's kind of what spearheaded this whole situation. And I just kind of just said, hey, this Table is kind of saving my business, and I'm thankful for all the people that are willing to share. And the cool thing, in my opinion, about Table is that there are so many people that are willing to share. And I think I look at it like this, like if the majority of Pampered Chef is not doing well in the sense of sales and everything else, Pampered Chef is not exclusive for a business that could potentially fail. So my thing is, let's share everything because we want everyone to be successful, and there's enough business for everyone to make that happen. Do you guys agree with that?
Hmm.
Like some people that gatekeep all this information, I just don't get it because, we're not all the same. We don't all have the same Facebooks. We don't all have the same groups of people. So this to me is a business saver. And thank God for Pampered Chef that they saw this and developed this early on, because all of us would probably be in a bigger heap of trouble if it weren't. So in saying that, we really didn't come to this place to make this a training. However, I think what would be helpful is for us to share a tip or two just to kind of get the ball rolling on what is going well with Table, and then maybe even what is not, because we all have those variances in our business. So does anybody want to start with something that's going well, and then maybe something that you're having a little hesitation or maybe a hiccup with? Is anybody fully using Table? I am, and Joanne is anybody else?
So I'm using it. I'm still got my Facebook parties going, and I've been doing more of like the text party. So that's where I want to like ask you guys about that. But I haven't like where I had a lot of stuff going into Table before, I haven't merged all of that over into the new program. You know what I mean? Into the
Yeah,
new updates yet.
yeah,
So I've kind of been and had to balance out whether I'm going text or whether I'm going Table. Anyhow,
yeah.
that's where I am.
And in my opinion, they're pretty much the same. Um, Remember how I was doing primarily text and kind of tables where they ordered. So now I just flipped. So Table is where most things are, and I'm doing 3 or 4 texts versus a text
Okay.
every single day,
That's what I was wondering.
just to shave off a little bit of money and you know, being creative because it's all on Table. So
Yeah.
we don't really need to do too much of that. Um,
Are you still promoting it as a text party then, or more of a just a swipe
I
and shop?
actually, I'm a digger. So anybody who's sharing, I dig at them after and like, I don't mean to be a pest, but again, most people are very, very giving with their information. So I'll share a couple quick things that may be helpful. And Joe, I know you have some things too, because your sales are just insane. So that's awesome. Um, when I've dived into a lot of Table trainings, and one of the things that they said was, and this is just a personal choice, they said Table is more of a internal name. When we say Table to our customers, they don't get that. They don't know what that is. And I could never figure out a good phrase or word, but Julie Ritter calls her parties, or the site calls them the shop and swipe site. And at first it was a big mouthful, but they get it. Like, you shop, you swipe, you're done, kind of thing. So that is so much more understandable. For me, that was a great tip because that was something I was personally looking for. The other biggest thing that I have found, well, there's two things that Julie told me and something else that Janelle told me. So Julie said, why do we care? And were we ever really able to know on Facebook how many times a person came in? Like, let's say there's 30 people in the party. On average, we would have, maybe if we were lucky, like 10 people. Now we're probably down more to like 4 or 2. At least that's how it was for me. But how do we know if a person comes in 5 times to Facebook or comes in once? You know, they might just come in and shop and leave, and we would never know. So I think for me, I was getting hung up on that. Like, well, how do I entertain these people? Well, you know, that's the point of the carousel, essentially, and the point of the games and things like that. So there's kind of like, everybody does it a little differently. So I decided to kind of go right down the middle. And so I have all of my games and interactive and holiday pieces the moment they walk through the door. So the carousel has like some Halloween and some fall ideas, because your content is first before Pampered Chefs. So when they come in, they're going to see me and my content. So I just want to make it acclimated to what's going on right now. So people are looking, if you look at social media, they're looking for Halloween, they're looking for fall recipes, things like that. So I try to acclimate my stuff to that. So that's my first thing, that I want them to come in and it not be like this empty room and there's nobody there kind of thing. So they see me when they come in. Obviously, they see the video that you make of your welcome. And then I preload all of my games. So all of my games, all of my interaction pieces are in Fun and Games pre-party Thursday. So when anybody walks in, as soon as that link is distributed, that's in there. So again, it doesn't look like an empty room. And then I do 3 to 4 table talk pieces throughout the duration of the party. So I'm kind of going in the middle, where some people will like dump all your information in there first, because what if they never come back, which I think is a very valid point, which is what most people do, I think. And then others are like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to put a little up front and trickle it in. So it's up to you. I think ultimately, I think the way the society is today, most people don't stick around. So I think having stuff up front, let them come in, let them leave. If they want to come back, great. If they don't, and like Julie says, who cares? Because if they're going to spend $200 and come into your table party for 5 seconds, let them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good thing for me to kind of be like, all right, Lauren, get over this, because you never knew in Facebook either. So what makes you think you're going to know in table? So those to me were the biggest thing, front loading, and then the trickle throughout the week. But I may end up front loading everything eventually because it's easier on me. And again, what does it matter? You know, they're going to get a text from me anyway. So
Then which texts are you using? Like a welcome text?
the very first welcome text, and then I'm using the text I created for Friday, which is just a back to school.
Okay.
But I'm not putting the video in there or anything, Susan. I'm just putting the text and saying, here's what you're going to find on table today.
On table.
Yeah,
Okay,
so no
that's what I was
video anymore,
wondering.
no video links. And then Tuesday, Wednesday. And that's it. So basically the weekend up until Tuesday, there's no more text, because I just want to give them that last minute reminder. And a lot of people say this, they don't particularly like the Pampered Chef text because they're too generic and potentially look spammy. I think Pampered Chef's paid enough money that they're not going to be spammy, but I still think they look like that.
Right,
So those are just some of my things
right.
that have been working well for me. Now,
I like that. I like that anyways, because like I feel like the text should be more like what Messenger was, right? So they come in, you text them, you welcome them. So I have always, any guest that has commented in a Facebook party, I've always texted them, hey, welcome to the party, and asked them some question. And so I feel like if we front load all the content, then the people that want to interact with us will, right? We'll send that text, we'll ask that question, and then I mean we can follow up and say, hey, just wanted to, reach out or whatever. But that way, if they don't want to come back and they don't want to interact with us, they don't have to.
Right.
And the relationship building wasn't happening really in the Facebook group anyway. Like you were getting more information from
Right.
them. What did they
Right.
like, or what questions were they asking? But if we're doing that through text, if it's a conversation, then I feel like I feel like tables should be our Facebook group, right? And the text should be our messenger. Work that way.
Well, and I'm finding even with like my text parties that it seems like people will chat with me usually Friday, like that welcome and that first message, and then it trickles off, and then I don't get much after that. And I always ask some type of a question in my message, but it seems like people will chat with me at the beginning, but then they're not necessarily doing that later on. So I feel like this is going back to what I was doing with table before I flipped back with the E2E and really focused more back on Facebook. So,
Yep. And I didn't share one of my challenges. So one of my challenges is I'm struggling between do I send the invitations for the host or do I not? So I've kind of played the fence on that, and I offer that and encourage that, and sometimes I get them from a no, I'll do it to okay, I see what you're saying, you can do it. And I truly do love having a phone call with them. I'm telling you, no joke, probably 70% of my hosts express interest in the business on a call. Almost all. I mean, 70%, 7 out of 10, easily. Now, am I signing all those people? Of course not. But I never get that type of success digitally. So I don't know. There's a lot of things we have to work out still, and a lot of things I see a lot of loose ends still. But I would personally prefer to figure out a system that gets them on board to do their own invitations. But just like Jessica was saying, to get them to do anything these days is pretty challenging. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to hear from Jo, because
I
obviously,
was just gonna say,
yes, she's got some
we
sales
can
going
come
on.
back to like working with our host. I'd like to know what Jo is
100%.
doing here.
Sure, for sure. I did want to ask, so before I start talking, so are y'all running parties? Friday start, Monday start? Are you starting table parties throughout the whole week? Are you still controlling your calendar?
I am still doing Friday through Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
tried to line them up with Facebook.
Okay. And
What are
Lorraine,
you?
I start
what
on
are you doing?
Thursday.
Thursday,
My
and you're
pre-party
running
is
about
Thursday.
a week, a few days, or a whole week, or what?
Pretty much a whole week. Like I'll say it's going to close on Wednesday, but then extend it to the following Friday. So Thursday
Okay.
to Friday, basically.
Got it. Jessica, you're going to probably do the same thing as stay with your Friday start or Monday start.
Just so that way you can hit 2 Fridays for payday.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And Christy, what are you doing? The
That's
same?
where I'm at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the same thing for me. So really, you guys, like when Lorraine was sitting here talking about putting content in there, front loading, trinkling, you guys, I do nothing in these parties. Again, Pampered Chef gave us Table 4.0 and they put it in there for us.
Mhm.
I have now compared Table and people that join Pampered Chef parties to my legal career. So I was a paralegal for 33 years in family law, and there was two kind of divorces: the fighter or give me the damn piece of paper and let me sign. Right? We are Table is give me the damn link and let me shop.
Yeah.
Why are we spending all this extra time putting anything in there that they're not really going to do? They
Yeah.
want the damn link and they want to shop.
Yeah.
Like, how many of you would rather just shop and go off? You're not going to sit there and yeah, we're there. If our host and our guests and their guests are too busy to do a Facebook party, because that's what we get, too busy, life's too busy. They're too busy to freaking participate in table.
Hmm.
So Pamper Chef has given us table. Use what we have and do not overthink it. It takes me, I've timed it, less than 2 minutes to set up a party on table. You do it on Consultant Connection. They automatically, PC does your table party for you. I go over to Project Broadcast and I do I set up my host coaching for that host, and it takes less than 2 minutes. And if you're running 8 parties a week, that's 15 minutes and you're done. You're not spending the whole week uploading, front loading, trinkling, playing games. I mean, I used to love all that, but I'm like over it. And I'm not wanting to be the lazy table 4.0 consultant, but I want to give them what they have, what we already have. I
Yeah.
don't want to add anything else. I don't want to do any more graphics. I don't want to go in there and let them know that they counted wrong on the M&M game. Like, I'm so over that. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't think they care either. I mean, my parties have shown that they do not care. They want the link and they want to shop. That's how I'm telling my host. I'm no longer doing Facebook week-long parties on Facebook. You're not going to be held hostage in a group anymore. We're doing a Table 4.0 party. All you're doing is sharing a link all week long or for a few days. I just say a few days. They don't know what my few days is compared to their few days. It's a week.
Yeah.
So all they're doing every day is you're asking them to share that link. 25 more people, 25 more people, 25 more people. Am I posting under the consultant table talk? Maybe once, if there's something that like in midweek Pamper Chef gives us some kind of sale and I want them to know about it, or this new recruiting offer, they're going to automatically put it in for us at midnight that night. I don't
Mhm.
need to, but I
Yeah.
feel like I need to jump on it immediately, right? So I may do it then. Um, but I've asked my host in my host coaching 2 times during the party, instead of sharing a link today, do you mind sharing something on Table Talk? Here's what you're going to post. You're going to post the guest offer, and you're going to post um, the the host rewards. That's it. Otherwise, all they're doing for us is sharing their link with people every day for 5 days, and that's it. I don't do anything else. My parties start on Monday, and if somebody, if I don't have 8 parties on Monday, which I don't, this is the first week I haven't had one filled up, but that's okay. I'm not sweating it, because as soon as somebody, I'm going to go ahead and start the parties I do have on Monday as normal. But if I'm talking to somebody and on Tuesday they tell me that they're up for a party, guess what? Their party starts on Tuesday, because my host coaching is not date specific.
Hmm.
I immediately plug them into my system. Each host gets their own host coaching on Project Broadcast. I just clone that campaign over and over. After that week of parties, I delete them, and then I have another week's worth of parties. So it's specific. I can start them on that Tuesday, and so that's how. Even though on the front end of my calendar it doesn't look like I have 8 parties, by the end of that week, I may have already got 8 parties going, because as soon as they said yes, they're getting a party. I don't give them the choice of, I've got these 2 weeks available. This is what I'm doing. Which one sounds better? No, they said yes, they're partying. Um, and the reason I went to thinking like that is because we need the parties. I need the parties.
Hmm.
But Stacy shared that Morgan Lee Smith sold like over 100,000 in one month, which
Crazy.
I get it. It was fundraiser month. I'm sure a lot of it was fundraiser, and we'll find that out here next week probably. But she books her parties out per the week. She doesn't have a calendar full for October. She didn't have a calendar full in September. She parties that week. So as soon as somebody tells her she wants to party, guess what? They're partying.
Yeah.
And why aren't
Is
we all
she
doing
doing
that?
table too? Is
I
she
don't know
doing
what she's
table?
doing.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Because
know.
like I feel like you would have to be because it's too stressful to book the same to book a party in the same week if you're doing it on Facebook, right? Because
If
you have
you're
to
doing
set
it
up
on
the group
Facebook,
and you
right?
have to schedule all your posts and you gotta
Yes. And y'all already know how much time did we spend on Facebook parties. We had to get a template, then we had to update the template. Then, if something special came in, we had to do that. Then we had to put them in those parties. And say you're running 8, then you're scheduling 8. You got to make sure they're all running, and Facebook hadn't stopped some of them. And then every day you're going in there checking for comments, checking for last tags, M&M counters, and all that. We're having to do that all week. We're not doing that on table. There is nothing you have to do on
So,
table.
Joe, how are you doing, like interacting with guests outside of the party or really getting the bookings from this? Because,
Yeah.
they keep talking about, make it fun, make it personal, make it fun. You know what I mean? So,
hmm
how are you personalizing it or,
Yeah. Well,
interacting?
right. So with Project Broadcast, and I do Connection Point, it automatically puts them into Project Broadcast for me every time they join table.
Mm-hmm.
It also tags them for that host.
Mm-hmm.
So say that Susan is my host this week. Everybody that joins Susan, and I go over to Project Broadcast and I search tags and I search Susan Reese's party, all her people are there. All I got to do is open that up, schedule a quick shout out message if I want to say something to them, and I've done the whole party in minutes. I've scheduled it or whatever, and I do that at the end of the party. I do the now or later bag, which Stacy trained on it a couple of weeks
Okay.
ago
Yep.
or a
Yep.
month or so ago. I just did a fall one, and I've got like 6 bags, and I said, hey, thank you for joining the party, and I'm doing now or later bags. I have a gift for you now. Pick a number. They pick a number. They text me back the number. I give them the little e-cookbook or whatever it is, and then say, I can set up your party for, you know, September 29th. So easy peasy. All you got to do is share a link. Are you in? Because then your host will get an extra reward and you get that extra gift. And, they won't respond. They picked their number and that was it. But
So you're not putting it as how she had it with this, and I'm doing a scavenger hunt. She's
no,
not. No.
no.
Okay.
And then I don't think I am. I could be. Um, and then the next day when they don't take me up and they don't think it's, they don't want to party, then I just do a follow up and say, hey, I still have your second gift reserved. What do have you thought any more about it or whatever? But to me, it's so much simpler. I made it to where I'm not overthinking it anymore. Um, and I don't think Pamper Chef would have given us something that we would have to add more to in order to it be successful. I
Yeah.
think keep it simple.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and that's the cool thing about this. There are several perspectives on it. Like
hmm
I would prefer to do less. So you're going to
hmm
inspire me to do less.
Yeah.
I'm all about personalization and all about, making sure they know who the consultant is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I have a tendency to go overboard on that. But I do like to, let them see who I am. But now you've given me the permission to kind of say, okay, back off a little bit on that. We don't need so much of that. My biggest question is this, which I think you've kind of alluded to. It sounds to me as if the host is doing the invitations. Okay,
hmm
so there's two ways of thinking about this per the table gurus. One is you tell them to invite 75 people, so you can have 25 to 30 in your party. Another group will say, I don't even focus on how many to invite. We just want 25 people in the party. So how have you been wording that?
Yeah. It's just in my host coaching. Day one, they join, and and they join that morning. In the afternoon, I said, okay, it's time for your first host task. Share your table link with 25 people. And so that's day one, right off the bat, 25 people. And it doesn't seem like when we were doing Facebook parties, we were saying you need to invite 50 to 60 in order to get whatever, or 75 to get that 20 or 25. That seems like a lot. That seems like a
Yeah.
lot. But 25 doesn't seem too bad, right?
Mm-mm.
And I tell them, I don't care how you share it. You can do it email, text, messenger, smoke signal, just share 25 people. And then the next day, thank you for doing that. Today, let's do another 10 or whatever. And now I've scaled it down. But then the next day, I'm going to ask them to post in Table Talk. And then the following day, I'm going to go back up to 25. By the end of the party, they've shared that link with 75 people. And you'll know if they did or not,
Yeah,
right?
you do. You really do.
So yeah, it's just asking them throughout the week to share and giving them small amounts versus share this with everybody in your phone. Like if I were to pick up my phone and somebody says share this with everybody in your phone, that's 700 contacts. I don't think so.
Hmm.
But if they told me 25,
Mhm.
I know I have 25,
Yeah.
Um,
And it's manageable.
it's manageable and it's doable and we're not overwhelming them. And it's one little task that they just copy and paste. The link's already in there. I've done that in my host coaching. It just says, hey, I'm hosting a Pampered Chef party on Table, their exclusive party platform. Fill out the survey and get $5 off your order. Here's the link.
Okay,
You
so it
know,
sounds like you need to be sharing your host coaching with us because yours is probably the most simple I've seen. Most of these host coachings are so freaking complex, and I'm just like,
no,
ugh.
and it goes back to Stacy again. I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of months now, but she just did it a few weeks ago and said, hey, your host coaching is now going to be one click. All they got to do is copy paste one thing and they're going to go and post it or do whatever with it. And that's what we have to do with these hosts or what we ask them to do. They don't want our job. They don't want to do our
Right.
job, but they also want a successful party. And if you give them one thing to copy and pay and send versus copy this, go find your table link, add it, then send 25, they ain't going to do it. But if it's
Right.
already together in a 2-sentence deal, they're going to do it, right? And then I post thank yous in the Table Talk.
Mm-hmm.
I send a thank you in Project Broadcast or Connection Point, whatever it is. And then that's my thank yous. And then I do, on the last couple of days of the party, I do change the name of the name of the party, like 2 days left, last day, and am I consistent with that? No, I'm not consistency, Kathy, but for the most part, I will. I go in there and do that, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, and I will share. I have my host coaching on. I can give y'all a bundle code for Project Broadcast, or I also have it on boards for my team, so they can, if they don't have Project Broadcast, which most of them do not, then they can just go to boards and do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like your simplicity of it because I haven't found one system that's simple. They're so
Mhm.
complex,
Yeah.
which makes it difficult. So anyone else have any questions? I don't want to monopolize the question.
I do one, Joe. So are you or are you not? Do you have a welcome video from yourself in Table?
No,
No?
they don't
Okay.
even get to see me then. I
So
have a
you're
picture.
not
Right
doing
now, I
any
just have a picture
videos
in
of
mine.
I
yourself
have a
So
doing
picture.
this
They
party?
get a picture of me and welcome in my little story or whatever. That's it.
that's
I
Nobody
all.
love
wants to.
it.
Nobody wants to hear this country hick talk. They don't. And so
Girlfriend,
no, I'm not.
I
And
am
today
only.
I sound even more horsey. I've been battling a cold or something, and so
It's
but
too funny.
nobody wants to hear me talk. They don't. So they get a picture.
It's
Yeah.
funny if you guys don't know, and Joe may not know this. I'm only 2 hours from you, Joe.
Oh yeah.
I'm just east of you in Weatherford, so
Well,
I am a
I'm gonna come
Texas
find you.
girl, and people will say, "Oh, you're from Texas, aren't you?" Yes, I am.
We every now and then will come up to Boo Ray's and have date night over there. Love us some Boo Ray's. Yeah, 2 hours is not a hard drive for us when there's no Cajun food around here. So
You are singing my song when you say I
good
don't
to
have any
know. Good
videos.
to know. I love it. I love it. But I
So
mean,
Hey,
It's
Joe,
just
can I
fun.
ask a question?
Yeah.
So you're still promoting it as like a party. You haven't changed it to like I call mine the pop-up shop. Like, let's do a pop-up shop for you.
Yeah, it's a party on on Pampered Chef's exclusive party platform, Table 4.0, and you're simply going to share a link for a few days. That's it.
And then when do you
And I
start
have
your
been
host coaching with
saying,
them?
and I have been
Well, right
saying,
away because she books them and goes for it.
yeah, and I make sure that they know it's not a week-long Facebook party. We're not on Facebook
Yeah.
and all that. And I think that, like, I think I want to think because Pampered Chef done me wrong. The people are bored on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
They're
Well, no
bored.
one's participating. No one's seeing
Yes.
it.
Yeah. And if we get bored doing the same old thing on Facebook and we have to change it up to offer something else to make it exciting, our host and our guests that book with us every 6 to 12 months, they're bored too. They don't want the same thing. So
Right.
this is new and exciting, and I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but as
Do
long as
you?
they keep that $5 deal,
Yeah.
I use the heck out of that $5 deal.
Yeah.
That's $2.95 shipping. Don't talk to me about shipping costs too much.
Ah, that's a good way
Fill
to
out
put
the
it.
survey.
Mhm.
Fill out the survey.
Yeah.
So, host coaching, you were asking about what, Susan? I'm sorry.
How far, like when you actually start them, like literally the day before?
Yeah, the day, you tell me you're wanting to party and I'm in the midst of the week and my week is not full,
Mm-hmm.
then you're gonna get I say, great, confirm your info. You'll get my first message tomorrow.
And
Yeah.
then
And
I
then
started
I'll
doing
if
that.
you
start,
had someone who wanted to book, let's say next week,
yeah,
like then when
yeah.
would you start host coaching them?
I do a message like 4 days out saying, hey, just confirming we're still good for Monday. And and then I start on Monday, their first message.
And you're running them the first host message. So you're
Yeah.
running the party Monday through
Through Saturday.
okay.
And because I feel like it has taken people longer to shop in parties now. Like my
Mm-hmm.
parties before were like 2 week parties. We would party
Yeah.
all week on Facebook, and then another week we need to leave it open because my people don't get paid till next week. Well, we're spending 2 weeks on there. So 6 days doesn't seem a whole lot to me
Yeah.
on table, especially when you have the people that come in, shop, and leave. They're not hostage to the table party. So, and you're asking them every other day to invite 25 more people. So the longer
I
you
think
can
that's
keep
the
it
biggest
going,
mind shift for me, right? Because on Facebook, we have to fight against the algorithms. So we want everybody in there right now.
not
And you
here.
don't have to worry about that with table.
Right.
Like that is the biggest, like when you said that, you're like, yeah, I just have them invite 2 days and then post and then invite some more. I was like mind blown.
Yeah.
Well, because we're not necessarily if everything's in there, we don't need them there from the beginning.
Whenever they hop on,
They
they
trickle
shop and
in, they
go.
see what they want to see, they
hmm
shop, and
hmm
they either come back if you posted something fun or they
Yeah.
don't.
hmm
So
Yes.
do you when you send the invitation, it's just the word and then the table link and that's it? Like no picture, no image? Some people do an image with their invitation.
Oh,
I
hell.
should know my
Hey,
I
answer.
don't. I'm not anymore, Lynn,
no,
because I
no.
find that it's too much for them to copy. I just want them to copy the
Yeah,
invitation with the link. I
Yeah.
don't even
right.
Have you
because
guys
the
been having
link will
trouble?
populate an image
Not
typically.
necessarily. Not in
Not
Facebook.
necessarily, but sometimes it does.
Mhm.
But either way,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
no.
Have
Mine
you
is
been
Because we
just,
have
finding
to
that any of your
save
hosts
an
are having
image
trouble?
and copy and paste, and that's 2 steps,
Yeah.
right? So we're trying to make this as simple as
and
possible.
I will say that I'll have some host that the day that I send them the guest special or the host special to share on Table Talk, they're going like, I don't know where to do this. I'm kind of lost or whatever. Like I stop right then and there. I'm not going to coach them on how to do it. Like this is not what we're doing. I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just invite 10 more people. Let's do that.
Good point. Good point.
You
Now,
know,
I
have
it's
you
like it though.
experienced that anybody has had trouble with the link when they're using Facebook Messenger?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's Facebook doing that. That has,
Yeah.
so when you're texting them on Project Broadcast or your phone, whichever you're using, because that's what you're going to be doing with Table, you're never going to have those broken links and have that problem. So I don't use Messenger at all, hardly.
No, but
There's
have you
no,
been finding that your host is having trouble copying the message and the link not fracturing when it goes into Facebook Messenger?
no, I haven't. But I ask them to text the message,
Right.
to send it via text. But if they say, can they post it on their Facebook wall? Can I send it via Messenger? I'm like, yeah, sure. I've not had anybody say that it didn't work or whatever.
Okay. Because that was the big fuss in the table group, that the links are fracturing. I've only had it once or twice happen, so I was just curious.
Right.
But
Yeah.
here's what okay, so all your scenarios sound great, but let's play devil's advocate because we got a lot of them. So you give all these, you say, okay, invite 25 people, and a day goes by and there's nobody in their table party, which means they didn't invite anybody, most likely. So you go and you obviously remind them, hey, let's invite those 25 people. So what are you doing with those people that are just kind of like, you give them the link, but they're not doing it? I mean, you can't make
Oh,
them,
I've
but
got a message for them.
all right,
So
let's hear
let
it.
me pull it up.
Do you think I'm
So
going to come and be my attorney and sue you? No, I'm kidding.
I've got it. I've got it. Um, so I have Tuesday on day 2. Good morning, Joe here with Pampered Chef. Were you unable to join the table party yesterday and send out your party link? Today's day 2, and you'll be receiving today's task pretty soon. Can you scroll up to my first message from yesterday, click on the party link, join, and then do your 25 initial invites? Give me a thumbs up when you get this message so that I know my messages are going through. Thanks. So I check my table parties on Tuesday morning because they start on Monday. And if I still have 0 people in there, 0 hosts, 0 people, whatever, I send that message. And I don't stop the campaign. They're still going to get number 2, right? So then day 3 is Wednesday. And at this point, you're either going to stop the campaign and regroup and find out why, and stop the party, why it's not working. You need to know why. By day 3, you need to know, right? And so I'll say, good morning. Just check in to see if you're seeing my messages. Your party kicked off on Monday, but it doesn't look like you joined and or invited guests. First, let me know you're getting my messages. If not, that may be our problem. Second, if you have received them, can you scroll back up and start from the first message on Monday, join your party and do the invites. Third, if this week is not good after all, I can stop the party and we can restart next Monday. Let me know.
Okay,
I
good
mean,
points. Good
yeah,
points.
and those are like a few extras. They're not part of the host coaching, but it's a message that I'm using to say, hey, you're not doing what you said you were going to do. And, yeah. So, and then you can run a whole table party and it may not qualify. Then you may run a table party and it's $800. You just never know. It's kind of like, again, the people are going to shop or they're not going to shop. For those that don't qualify, you can ask the host if she wants to continue sharing the link for a few days. Or I offer, okay, we've ran a table party and I know that you've been with me long enough and you've done Facebook parties. Would you like to do a Facebook party next week? So this week we did table and you're at 150 in sales. Do you want to share a few more days, your link, and get it qualified? Because my goal is to have a qualified party.
Yeah.
Like I don't want 0 parties.
Yeah.
Or would you like to do a Facebook party? And then I'll offer to do. I've not had anyone say, yes, let's do a Facebook next week. They'd rather share the link a few more days and hope and pray. And then, in my host coaching, my last message is if you haven't followed up with anyone that you sent the link to, everybody needs reminders. Might want to follow up, which is what we are supposed to be doing on Facebook,
Yeah.
right? But they're doing it. And when they know that, and I make it a point to say, as soon as it gets qualified, like you get to pick out one item or set for 60% off. I can't wait for you to shop. Then at that point, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. They forget why they're doing it, Um,
So you don't do a
so,
phone call either, right?
oh God, no, this phone is too heavy. I cannot pick up that phone. There's no way. Mm-mm. I don't like talking to people. That's what I always used to tell
I
people when
know.
Joe, you
when
are
I
so
joined.
funny.
I know,
I know
right?
when I joined, I was like, I'm talked out working all day at the law firm. No, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to see people. Nothing. And my recruiter says, yeah, you can do virtual parties. That's what people. I was like, perfect. This is perfect. I don't have to talk to no one. Um, 8 years later, here I am. But no, I'm not going to talk to people on the phone.
So Joe, how are you? I know you're doing the now and later bags for like the bookings. How
Mhm.
are you besides putting something in for the like the the recruiting special or something like that? What are you doing? Are you doing anything special for that?
To recruit,
Yeah.
no, I need to though.
Okay.
I
I
need
need
to.
to also. My team
I
is
need to.
like
Um,
non-existent. So,
and just like our our Facebook parties, we
mhm.
want to book within our parties, but we also are trained to find parties outside of, find bookings outside of parties. We
Mhm.
can do birthday messages, which I'm now down to 200 people, so that's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
But we can do, bonus prize. I think we could incorporate that in table. I haven't done that, but
Well, you're pretty much doing
pick
that
the
with the
number,
bags.
1 to 5 or 1 to 50. I think that's a perfect way to go get on your VIP group on Facebook and do that. Do the 100 box giveaway 1 month. And that's how we get parties. We don't just stick to one thing.
Right.
And so we're
Right.
still going to be working to get parties um, outside of our parties. And I did, got off that training we just finished with Kathy. And I love that I don't know who it was that said it, probably Kathy. I don't remember. I wrote it down, but I'm going to have to incorporate this into my host coaching at the end of the party is I have 5 free gifts for 5 new referrals.
That's what
Who
it was Kathy. Kathy
was it,
said that.
Kathy?
Yes.
Who
I
who
liked that too.
I did too. I wrote it down. I'm like, that's how I'm going to get my bookings. I need, I got five gifts to give away. Can you tell me who would book a party? And then I got to figure out how we're going to get them booked. But that's an idea for us in addition to um, the now or later bag
Hmm.
post that I do at the end of the party.
Well, and
So,
it's similar to the host booking challenge, right? Like you're having your
right.
host help you
Hmm.
get bookings.
Yeah. And we used to say send out 12 messages. Well, now we just need 5 and hope to heck we get 2 people out of it.
Hmm.
So is that what you're using as your host booking challenge? Or what you
I'm going to. I haven't done the host booking
Yeah.
challenge.
right.
I left Facebook and I never looked back.
Hmm.
So I haven't done any of the stuff that we were doing,
Right.
which, whatever.
Okay, so
Um,
here's my thought, and you let me know how you feel about this. The host coaching methods that I got, like I said, they're just massive. So I don't really think it's overly duplicatable. It sounds to me like yours is extremely duplicatable. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that with us, and maybe what we could do is all kind of look at it and come up with some questions. And maybe, I don't know if you guys are open to it, but maybe if you guys are, we could maybe meet back next Friday and then kind of walk through any questions that we have about your host coaching.
yes, I can do that.
Yeah. And can you send it by boards and
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, that way I can sometimes it's easier for me to look at it in a different manner.
What do you
Right.
have it in? Boards and what else?
Campaign on Project Broadcast.
Oh, and a campaign too. Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me think if there's any last minute things I can think of. But we always can ask you questions in the chat. But I really appreciate you sharing and the fact that
Yeah.
not only are you having success, but you're having success without doing so much.
Well,
And
it's simple
yeah,
and it's
and
easier to follow. That's what my
right.
problem is
Yes.
I am everywhere. And like
Yeah.
Lorraine said, it's like I've got this person's host coaching who's
Yeah.
been really successful and this person, and it's like oh my God, where did I read that? What am I doing? I'm trying to, I can't get back in a system.
Yeah.
Well, Joe has
Yeah.
given us permission to just let the format work for us and
Yes.
smarter and not harder.
Yeah.
And we know that it works because she's been doing this.
Right.
And we're, just like Susan said, we've been overthinking it, overdoing it, trying to say, oh, here's all these shiny new pennies. So let's throw that in there and throw this in there. And I just absolutely thank you so much, Joe, for your
Yeah.
way,
No.
because that's exactly where I've been going, trying to say, how can I just let this
Yeah.
work?
Mhm.
Now,
We had during that summer series, Marna Ross did her training, and her words that stuck out to me, which is true. Text is king.
yeah,
People will get a text and read it before they read an email, which is ancient, or go open Facebook to get to Messenger to see what's in Messenger. Some people don't even have their Messenger app, so they have to go to Facebook to get it. You're hoping and praying that they got that message. I mean, how many times? Y'all know,
Yeah.
y'all know. And we don't have to be friends to send a text.
Right.
We don't have to be
Right.
friends. On Facebook, we had to send 3 or 4 messages in order for it to push in and them see our message because we weren't friends. And I just love that it is true. People have a phone in their hands at all time. So,
Okay, I got another. I knew what it was. I've been getting this lately. I'm stuck in this really poverty-stricken area, which is driving me bonkers. So I got to do some things to get out of it. But all of these girls, like I'll host coach them, get on the phone with them, not doing that. I really don't want to do that anymore. I do like it, but it's just I work full time and it's so hard to make everything work. But anyway, I'm gonna try the way you have it. But they're like, oh, well, I thought this was going to be a Facebook party. And I explain all the reasons why, and they seem all with it. And they get off the phone and they're like, don't do anything. So, like, I mean, I have had 25 parties this month, and I'm barely going to hit 4,000. I just have so many people that are booking, but not doing anything.
okay. And I think if you message them on day 2 and say, hey, have you not been able to join your table party and do your 25 invites? You're like calling them out, but not calling them out. And
Well,
then
and I
day
think
3,
also, yeah,
and day
I'm
3
overwhelming
is,
them.
yeah, and day 3 is, I can stop let's apply the brakes real quick because all I got to do is remove their name from the campaign and then start it back up next Monday,
Yeah,
right? No sweat off my back,
right.
but I want to make sure it's good for you, and we just never know. And when we're booking, and the way I'm doing it now that I'm booking a week out, um, more than likely things are not going to change for some people.
Yeah.
But there may be that 1 or 2 that, somehow cannot, or something's happened or whatever. And, you got to just like, okay, I'm going to move you down a week, and
Yeah, and I think I
it's
was
okay.
overwhelming them because I'm
Yeah.
talking, I mean, the coaching that I got is invite 100 people. That's daunting,
Oh God, no.
right?
Mm-mm.
That's daunting. 25, anybody can do
Yeah.
that. And then you're coming
Right.
back and reeling them
And
back in to do a 25 more. I mean, that's just
yeah.
logic.
And then that's and you're gonna get that one person says, well, I did more than 25. And I'm like, oh my gosh, rock star. Okay, fine. And then they're going to get the message to do 25 more, but let them invite how much they want. But let them do it in little bitty, whatever.
Little bits. So in some of Marna's trainings we've listened to lately, she was saying that the way she's doing it is invite them over the table and tell your host, now when you get 20 people to join, or 25, I will do a drawing for a mix and chop. Are you offering anything like that?
No, because I'm nowhere near Facebook. They're not joining a Facebook group, and then I'm telling them to come over here to table.
Yeah.
We're just going to table. They get $5. They get $5 off their order. Fill the survey.
Yep. You're right. I think the way I understood it is she is telling them when we get 20, 25 people in table to join table, then that she's doing a drawing for those people that join table.
No, I mean, I'm a giver and I love giving stuff, but at this point, no. I'm not.
Yeah.
And if my parties get to where I need to do a giveaway,
Then you can.
then I will.
Mhm.
I'm not above doing that, but right now I'm not needing to.
Mm.
Um, and so yeah, no,
So are
they get
you even doing like any type of prize drawing
no
or
grand
no?
prize. There's no
I haven't
nothing.
done it in months because my
Yeah,
parties have sucked.
nothing.
So
Yeah, because they didn't play any games. I didn't ask them to count M&Ms. No, we're not
right.
doing it. So yeah, they're not, you know, they don't want a season's best cookbook. That was my
Hmm.
grand prize drawing. They don't want it. They can buy it for $2, you know. So it is simple. Um, and I'm loving the simplicity. I feel like my evenings have freed up. I'm not doing last day hashtags. I'm not doing reminders. I'm
Yeah.
not doing I'm not doing anything. I'm not going into Facebook, check 8 parties and find out what I need to
Right.
respond to
Yeah.
or
And
whatever.
change
I'm
the
not
banner and did I do
I'm
this one and did I do
I'm not
that?
doing any of that. There's nothing to do. It took me 15 minutes to set this party up and it's kind of the host herself is running it for me.
So
That's what
when,
I'm
okay, going back to my question, and they're like, oh, well, I want this to be a Facebook party. What do you say when somebody's like, that's what I want?
Yeah, say hey. Say, well, this is Table 4.0. It's Pampered Chef's exclusive Pampered Chef exclusives party platform. We're going to do it for a few days. You're going to share a link, and um, let's get together at the end of the party. And if it's not where we want in party sales, I'd love to do a
Okay,
Facebook party for
fair
you
enough.
next week.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
That
And then
works.
they're going, oh, I'm getting 2 parties for one, which they were getting 2 parties for one before, but
Right.
now you're meeting them where they want to go
Yeah.
and say, there's just a little bit more work for you over there, but we'll do it,
Mm.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Fantastic. So is everyone good with 1 o'clock next Friday?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so.
Okay.
So I like if I were gonna, I need to be getting booking messages out anyhow because my calendar is a little scary at the moment. Were you promoting it in any way to get people starting to set up, or no? It's just let's have a online party, virtual party.
So when I got shut down on August 4th or 5th, whatever, you think I'd remember that date? That's when my world ended. Like I felt so disconnected, sad. The next day I was like, I've got to get I had my parties,
Hmm.
already on my calendar, not that many, but, and I thought, I've got to do something. And so Table 4.0 was it, right? So overnight, I thought, I'm going to do this. And so we had just received all our catalogs. So I did the hot off the press blast and
Oh, okay.
offered a Table 4.0, share
Do
the
you
link
mind?
for a few days.
Let me ask you about that because I have always had good success with the hot off the press in one respect, getting the interest. But
Mhm.
what they want is the catalog. And so
Mhm.
some of them overlook the fact of collecting the $200. So did you change any of the verbiage when you sent it? Okay. I got to see that too then. Sorry.
Yeah, they don't get the catalog until Wednesday the week of their party. And
Mm,
by Wednesday, I've already talked to them. I've already seen if they've invited and joined and invited. If they haven't been proactive by Wednesday in joining their table party and inviting that first 25, then you ain't getting a catalog,
yeah.
you know?
Will you send those words too?
Yeah,
Because that's my problem. Those words are tricky and they don't want to do it, seems like.
yeah. And so yeah. And so it would be in the midst of their party that they get their catalog, you
Nice.
know? I didn't I used to do it and mail them all out for,
Yeah.
September
Hmm.
and hope and heck they kept their party. Hope the heck it was a qualified party. But now with the way I did it this time, I'm like, no, they're not getting that catalog. They're not getting it until they do the first 3 days of what I've
Hmm.
asked them to. And by Wednesday, you should know. So by Wednesday, I would have my list of the hosts that I'm going to send that week a catalog to. And on Thursday, I dropped them off at the post office.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You smart. You smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. But
Well, Joe, thank you for sharing all this.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't feel like we shared as much back to you, but
I know.
This,
Well, but
I
we're
would,
going to, and we're
Yeah.
going to get this down in a system that I want it to be duplicatable. I want our organization to be doing Table 4.0 parties. If they're bored on Facebook, they need to be on Table.
I
If
just
they've
get
been shut
overwhelmed with
down
it.
on Facebook, they need to be on Table. If they feel like they need to throw in the towel because their business is in the tank, they need to come to Table. Like
Yeah,
this needs to be an outlet for them, and it can be successful. And we just need to be the ones that share it so that they don't
Shock.
jump ship. They don't jump ship.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of them near or right there on the fence of doing it.
100%.
And we don't need that. We need to keep our leaders intact, and our leaders, us, we need to be training our teams to do this.
Yep.
And that's one thing also that um, our new consultants feel overwhelmed with doing Pampered Chef, right? When you give them everything that we're told to do, they're overwhelmed. This is so much more simple,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so much. And if they can't do this, then they don't want to do it,
Mhm.
And that's how I'm going to train my new consultants is this is what you're doing.
Well, and I think one of the things, I've been doing the texting parties, but the big thing about the texting, if you've got 30 people in there and you're not using Project Broadcast, you got to sit down and make sure you're sending out 30 all those messages one day. And if you have more than one party, you sitting
That's a
down
lot of
doing it,
messages.
it is a lot of
It
messages.
is.
So keeping costs down for consultants as
Mhm.
well. I mean, I'm like thinking, oh my God, I could actually maybe get rid of Post My Party and get rid, you know what I mean?
Right. And I still have Post My Party because I still have a template that I do for the
Yes.
team that I
Yes.
give.
Yeah. I wouldn't
And
get rid of it right now,
um
but
and because this is so new to me,
yeah.
I don't want to wake up in November and this goes,
Yeah.
in the tank. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Um,
No, but I
so
think you're onto
I'm
something,
keeping
that's for
it.
sure.
I'm keeping it for now. And, if the sales are there, then I can afford to keep Post My Party for that one or two team member that wants to do full blown table parties. I mean,
Right.
Facebook.
Facebook parties. And I'll share my template with them, because I can afford to, but we'll see. I haven't cut that off yet.
Okay. So Lorraine, if we're going to meet next Friday at 1.
Oh, I can't do next Friday. I'm going to be going to Nashville.
Oh, that's right. You're going.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I don't think any of the rest of us, unless Jessica is going.
I
You
don't
want to
know.
do Wednesday or Thursday?
I have a mediation on Wednesday. Thursday sounds good.
Thursday would work
Yeah.
for me.
Is that not going to be too hectic with you getting ready to go?
No. Well, no, because so I did walk away from legal after 33 years, and then 2 years ago, a law firm asked me to come run their local firm here, a personal injury firm. I did family law for 33 years.
Mm.
So now I work part-time at downtown here for a firm out of San Antonio. So Christy knows where that's at. And we do personal injury law. And I go to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 2 to keep the office open. And I'm like, that is like the
Yeah,
dream job
right.
after working 50 hours a week for an attorney that could care less.
Mhm.
It's been a blessing. And so I do go to work. Now I'm back into legal, but it's like on my terms.
Right. That's
So, and
great.
I can log in while I'm at the office. It's just me. So,
Okay. All right. So then 1 p.m. Eastern time is good for you on Thursday.
yes.
Okay, awesome.
And then what are we coming back with? We're reviewing Joe's stuff,
Questions that we have about it.
questions, ideas.
Yeah.
hmm
What's working?
Yeah. And I'd like to, I'd like to figure out how we can do I have 5 gifts to give
Okay.
away
Yeah.
with 5 referrals,
Yes.
Yeah.
for somebody to book a party. Kind of something, maybe do a little graphic and message that we can
Yes.
maybe add to the host coaching.
Mhm.
We don't want another campaign or another message that we have to remember to do. Just add it at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were
say,
saying real quick, you said you're using Connection Point as well.
mm-hmm,
Are you using that just to send
my
out?
2, 2, and 2.
Okay. And what about you don't do a join message like when they join table, you don't have an automatic message that goes out to them?
Yes,
Okay, you do have that. Okay.
but it's
Do you
connected to my
use-
project broadcast.
Do you use the Smart Actions or anything
Smart
like
Actions.
that?
No, I don't even know what those are. Somebody
Okay.
talked to me about it. I'm like, no, I don't know. I
Okay.
don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't. It's complex.
I'm not smart.
Yeah.
I don't wanna know.
Good, but it's complex. All right. Well, thank
I
you.
don't want to
Thank
be
you.
that
Thank you.
smart.
Yes, this was fantastic. Thank you everyone for sharing. And we'll meet again
Yeah.
Thursday at 1. And then if you want to just put your links in the chat group, that will be great. And I actually, not to make it any more complex, but what I did is I just created a Google Doc called the Think Tank group. That way, because you know how sometimes you'll put a link in and it will just get scrolled up and people won't be able to find it. So the Google Doc will house those links as well. So that if you're okay with that.
And I can put it on there.
Yep.
The bundles and all that.
Yep.
I mean, the bundle code for
Yeah.
the campaign and the boards. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll share this.
I can do
Hold
that.
on 1 second. Let me get, actually, while I have you guys on the phone, let me just do it like this. What's your email, Joe?
R Humphrey, RHUMPHREY, the number 4
Mhm.
at Hotmail. R Humphrey 4 at Hotmail.
And Susan, I have yours. And hold on 1 second, Christy. What is yours, Christy?
Mine is Grams, GRAMS, kitchen sink at gmail.com.
Hold on, let me make sure I got that right. So Graham's oh, I see you. I got it right. Okay, perfect. And we'll figure out the rest of them and get them on here. That way everyone can kind of share this document and then you can add your stuff there if that works for you, Joe.
Perfect. I'll add it here in a minute.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So thank you again. And I'll set us up again for next Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
have a
I'm
good
excited.
evening.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Let's
good
do
one.
this. All righty. Bye-bye.
All
Bye.
right. See ya.